Good morning, Hastings. Welcome to today's Local Explainer. Grab your coffee because HastingsNow.com publishes your Hastings MN weather plus on this date for Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. We've put together a gorgeous factual explainer that I know you local residents are going to absolutely love to watch. So let's jump right in. We're going to break down exactly what you need to know about today's weather, and then we're taking a fascinating little trip back in time to see what else happened on this very date in history.
Well, there's a certain feeling in the air today, and it goes a little something like this. It's a crisp spring Wednesday in Hastings, the kind of morning where downtown coffee just tastes better. The river looks incredibly sharp. And your jacket? Yeah, it still gets one more shift before May arrives. I just love how that paints a picture. It's that perfectly clear, slightly sharp early spring feeling where the sun is totally shining, but you definitely know you're still in Minnesota.
And speaking of that crisp feeling, let's look at what we're actually dealing with when you step out the door. If you were out early, you definitely felt it. Nearby South St. Paul reported actual air temperatures right around 40 degrees this morning. But thanks to the breeze, that wind chill factor pulled it right down to a brisk 35 degrees. That is absolutely enough to wake you up on your morning commute, for sure. Okay, let's dive into this temperature spread for the rest of our Wednesday. It's kind of a split personality out there today. We're starting off partly cloudy, but those clouds are going to steadily increase as we push through a cool late April afternoon. We're aiming for a daytime high right near 55 degrees, so pleasant, but definitely not hot. And then check out the contrast. Tonight, things clear out entirely and we drop way back down to a chilly low right around 34 degrees. Now, a huge factor in how today actually feels is going to be the wind. We've got this cool northwest breeze blowing through. You can expect sustained winds between 5 to 15 miles per hour during the day, and then they'll taper off just a bit to 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. That breeze is going to keep things feeling incredibly fresh, especially if you're hanging out right down by the river. So if you're walking near the Hastings Bridge, taking a stroll through Levee Park, or finding any open spot along the Mississippi, you are absolutely going to feel that northwest wind. But hey, on the bright side, there is literally zero rain expected today or tonight. Your outdoor plans? Totally safe from getting washed out. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how we need to plan our day. First things first, definitely keep that light jacket or fleece handy. It's a fantastic day to get out, run some errands, and take those downtown walks. You just got to be prepared for that breeze. Here is a golden rule for Hastings in April. If you park down near the river, do not let that bright sunshine trick you into dressing like it's June. It might look like summer through your windshield, but the air definitely says otherwise. And finally, for all you gardeners out there, listen up. With those temperatures dropping tonight, you absolutely need to bring your tender potted plants inside, or make sure they are well covered. Minnesota gardens shouldn't get too confident just yet. Now, the really crucial point regarding those dropping temperatures tonight is a hazardous weather outlook. This was officially issued by the National Weather Service. As the skies clear out and temps dip into the mid-30s, we are expecting areas of frost to develop, mostly after 3 a.m. So, if you got to jump on your spring planting this past weekend, please take this neighborly warning to heart. Protect those delicate plants before your head hits the pillow tonight. All right, before we move on, we really can't talk about a breezy day in Hastings without our weather joke of the day. Here it is. The northwest wind is giving Hastings a free hairstyle check today, especially if you cross the bridge without a hat. Anyone who's ever walked across the river on a breezy spring morning knows exactly how true that is. Hold on to your hats, folks. Okay, so that's what's happening outside our windows today. But I always find it super fascinating to realize that while we go about our Wednesday routines here in 2026, the calendar date of April 29th has witnessed some absolutely incredible moments in the past. Let's open up a little time capsule together. On this date, April 29th, a little time capsule. Let's move to our timeline and see how this all builds. Opening up that time capsule, we've pulled some fascinating data from MNOpedia and the Library of Congress. We're looking at 3 distinct, highly impactful events that all share this exact date. First, the birth of an educational pioneer in 1792, then a really momentous military gathering right here in Minnesota in 1861, and finally, the birth of a musical legend in 1899. Let's start way back in 1792 with the birth of Matthew Vassar. Now, what's amazing about his story is what he actually did with his life's work. He built this massive fortune in the brewing industry, but instead of just keeping it all, he used his wealth and his land in Poughkeepsie, New York, to do something truly revolutionary. He established a women's college at a time when the vast majority of top-tier schools strictly excluded women. Vassar Female College was founded in 1861 and officially opened its doors in 1865. His birth on this day eventually changed the entire landscape of higher education. Now, what's really incredible about this next milestone is how directly it connects to our own local heritage. On April 29, 1861, which coincidentally is the exact same year Vassar College was founded, history was being made right in our own backyard. The First Minnesota Volunteer Infantry Regiment was officially mustered for duty at Fort Snelling. According to MNOpedia, Minnesota's very first Civil War regiment filled up incredibly fast. Exactly 1,009 men from St. Paul and the surrounding towns answered the call and gathered on this exact day. It's just a really powerful reminder of the local men who shaped national history right up the river from us. And finally, we jump forward to April 29, 1899 in Washington, D.C., with the birth of Edward Kennedy Ellington, universally known as Duke Ellington. The Library of Congress highlights him as an absolute giant of American jazz. But he wasn't just a musician. He was one of America's greatest composers, a totally charismatic band leader, and a prolific recording artist. His incredible body of work stretched everywhere, from bustling nightclubs and grand theaters to the silver screen and even profound sacred concerts. The musical heritage of the 20th century owes a massive debt to this April 29th birthday. So from the jazz clubs of the 20th century, we come right back to our Hastings morning today. I want to leave you with a very practical question to think about. Have you checked the latest official National Weather Service alerts before making your outdoor work, travel, or planting decisions today? As we saw it with that frost warning for tonight, weather in the upper Midwest can pivot in the blink of an eye. It is always best to be armed with the latest info before you set your plans in stone. And that brings our morning explainer to a close. If you found this helpful, go ahead and share it with a neighbor or subscribe to Hastings Now. As you head out into the brisk air today, remember the history made on this very date by pioneers, soldiers, and artists. So what small piece of history will you make today in Hastings? Have an absolutely beautiful Wednesday, hold on to your hats, and we'll see you next time.